we found out Sunday morning that Nick Mangold had passed away, 41, I think, super young, kidney failure, kidney disease that he made public just a couple of weeks ago. And then they announced his passing Sunday morning. And I went and looked because I wasn't sure if you played with him, and you
Mm-hmm.
did in
Yep.
2016. His last year with the Jets, and I think in the NFL was your first year with the Jets and your second to last year in the league. And then to see the Jets play the way they did, fight back from a big deficit, and it kind of reminded me of doing something in honor of, a guy who fought for his team for so many years, and Nick
Yeah.
Mangold. But what memories? And obviously, it's sad, and we want to send our love and prayers to the family of the Mangolds. But just maybe some memories from playing with him, and what your reaction was.
Yeah, Nick means so much to the Jets organization, and he was a staple guy. When you thought about the Jets or you heard about the Jets, you thought about, he was a staple, perennial Pro Bowl offensive lineman. And when I got there, he was one of the reasons I was like, man, I'm excited to play for the Jets. I get to run behind a guy like Nick Mangold
Yeah,
up front, and man, it's sad, and it's like we talked about the fleeting, vapor of life and how that is, and how it comes about. Like, you can't put your finger on it. There's no cookie cutter way to just say, oh man, that shouldn't happen. People should be, what's God's plan for this and his family? He's a husband, he's a father, and it's unfortunate, man. It's sad, but at the same time, man, it just kind of gives you that perspective of, man, give your life to Christ now and understand your purpose within it, because when you leave here, there's no redos, and
that's right.
there's been many, not just the NFL family, it's a brotherhood, it's a family. It's been hit hard the last week or so because there's multiple people,
Yeah,
Doug
Doug
Martin,
Martin.
my
Yeah,
guy who was a running back with Tampa Bay, and uh, definitely at Boise State, kind of made a name for Boise State back when nobody was really thinking about Boise State and as a college, a big time college team. And then, Art Jones, who, Chandler Jones and the John Bones Jones, who
yes,
is a UFC fighter. Like, those three brothers who highly talented in different areas and stuff. But, to lose their brother, man, it's like, and I start to think about the guys who I played with and have played against that were from my era who have passed away. Marion Barber back in 2022,
yeah,
and
your teammate.
many
Yeah,
many other people. Vincent Jackson, and it's like, man, life is people just you just kind of just we take it for granted. Take a lot of things for granted, and even if we're not trying to, we just kind of need to understand that God's grace every day we wake up is a blessing. If we don't have
yeah,
anything else in this world, we wake up, and if we wake up and you got food on the table, clothes on your back, and a roof under to live under, definitely blessed. But Nick was one of those guys that I loved how he was a veteran, a good veteran. He was a good vet. He was one of those guys that didn't take advantage of people, but they respected him enough to, when they wanted something in the meeting room or they wanted pregame food or something like that, uh, his guys would get it, and we got the benefit of it as being offensive guys. Uh, he was just a happy guy, loved his family, and was a great guy in the huddle. Like, super fun to play with, especially his relationship with Ryan Fitzpatrick and how they, kind of were, silly and goofy together. But just, man, it just was a joy to be in the huddle with a guy like that.